Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and you're watching a quick gaming review of the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 8 Pro. It comes with the Helio G90T chipset from MediaTek, and along with that there's Mali G76 MC4 GPU which clocks at 800 MHz, and this phone is said to be one of those gaming phones in the mid-range pricing category, competing the likes of the Snapdragon 730G chipsets. So firstly, in the benchmarks, if you check out the Antutu score, this is the new Antutu, so obviously you'll see the scores to be better than what was on the previous version. So the Antutu 8.0 version gives you 2,77,000 for the Redmi Note 8 Pro with this chipset. And we are going to play PUBG Mobile obviously, and that would be the major game that we'll play for this test. Before we start, the temperatures are here. It's about 33.5 on the front of the device. On the back of the phone, this is where we have seen people talking about the heating issues. So this is where it should probably heat up, and right now it's 34.2 towards the corners, and there's a heat pipe here. This is where the liquid cooling works on this phone, and at this area it's about 33.4. So while playing the game, we'll try to show you the temperatures and see whether the phone is heating up or not at all the different angles, not just the center of the phone. So before we begin, this is the graphic settings for the phone. It's smooth and extreme, that's possible on the smooth gameplay. Extreme frame rate is 60 fps, that's possible here. You can even go to HDR, and HDR has the option of ultra for the frame rate. So you won't get extreme, that's obvious. For a mid-range, having these options is quite good. And compared to this, there are some phones, especially with the Exynos chipset, the Moto's One Action and One Vision had similar options. Even the Samsung Galaxy A50 and A50s have similar options. So this would be ranging in that price range. Around 20,000 rupees is what we expect. Let's start the game. This is particularly on HDR and Ultra before we start the smooth and extreme. So total of about 8 minutes of gaming, and let's again check out the temperature one. So it's about 42.5 in about 8 minutes of gaming, again towards the corner of the phone. And we are still playing this on HDR and Ultra. So now we have activated the FPS meter. You can check out the frame rate live while the game is on, so you can understand if there are frame drops and if the game is lagging. Right now it's on 24 FPS, and this is common anyway. It's important to see when the game actually starts. And let's set it here. So it's 40 because 40 is what you get when you have the ultra frame rate activated. And if you go to smooth and extreme, that is where you'll see the frame rates getting better. Now it's 58 because 58 around 60 is what you always expect it to be when it's smooth and ultra. But let's continue on smooth and extreme here. So extreme frame rate is the best right now that you get on PUBG Mobile. So there are those frame drops. 27 is now what you see out of 60. But that's the difference here. It's not that lag due to the phone. This happens when you do hot drops, especially in places like Pochinki or the chargeable crates. This is more for people who understand this game and know where you land and whether it's important to see whether there are frame drops and lags happening in those places. It's 44 actually. This is the temperature right now on the back of the phone when we are playing it on smooth and ultra. We'll continue playing the game for one more time. So to be frank, in that area on the left corner, it is already seeming a bit uncomfortable to hold and play, and it might get worse if you keep playing the game for a longer amount of time, which you obviously would do when you're playing games like PUBG Mobile. You won't end it with one game and go on to do something else. You would play at least 2 or 3 games, and if it's heating up so much, it always feels uncomfortable. Though yeah, the liquid cooling might be working good enough in the center of the device where it doesn't seem to be hot, but it's towards the corner where we usually have those buttons. But again, what is important is the experience, and for the experience, heating is one major factor which should be in control, and it doesn't look like it is here. Now, before we end this, I'm switching back to HDR and Ultra for some time. As in with the experience, it doesn't seem that bad at all. On both the important modes, that's the smooth and extreme HDR and ultra, it does seem to be smooth enough, and there are no huge frame drops or lags. But there's only one issue so far, that's the heating. Liquid cooling doesn't seem to be working on every corner of the device, and that makes things a tad bit uncomfortable. That's it. We'll end it here, and let's check out the temperature before it ended. So around the corner, it actually seems to be heated up more. 45 degrees on the front itself, 45.5. Almost 46 degrees is what it has gone up to, and now towards the bottom of the back of the phone, this is where the phone was the most heated up, and you can see it's actually reaching 48 degrees. So this is not even 20 minutes of gaming in total, and the phone has touched about 48 degrees, which clearly says that it's not very comfortable to hold and use and play the games. But there's also one thing that we haven't played it on HDR Ultra always. Some of you prefer playing it on smooth and extreme, and that's what we also played here for half amount of time. And on both you can see that it was heating up quite a lot. So with the experience, I would say with the gaming, it actually did quite well. There were no huge lags or frame drops. The phone was doing quite well all the time on both the modes, that's the HDR Ultra and also smooth and extreme. But the phone is heating up clearly, and that does matter to quite a lot of you. And with the liquid cooling present towards the center of the device, I'll also show you the temperatures towards the center. it's gone up to 40 degrees, which is normal that we see on most of the phones. And if the liquid cooling is able to keep it to only 40 on the center, and it can't do anything towards the corners where you see it's still the same 47.5 and still heated up. So it's not easy to play the game continuously for a longer amount of time. We haven't played a full game. It has been part by part, and we also took a break in between, so the phone might have chilled down a bit, about a couple of degrees, but in the end it again went up to 48 degrees. So that's the quick gaming review of the Redmi Note 8 Pro with the Helio G90T chipset. Overall a good gaming phone, but not good if you consider the heating issues on this phone. So that's it. I hope you like this video. If you do, share and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.